Now at 10 and streaming on crossroadstoday.com, a former principal is indicted on a theft charge. We'll hear from a family impacted.
The FBI is investigating a Minneapolis school shooting as an act of domestic terrorism. The latest developments.
And a $10 million deal moves forward for Citizens Medical Center's expansion project.
We'll be talking about the heat for the next couple of days, but we'll also be talking about the cool front coming in this weekend. All that coming up.
And the women's and men's soccer programs at UAG prepare for their last game at University of Houston system. Find out how the teams both feel going into that later on in sports.
You're watching 25 News Now at 10. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Shawna Currie.
And I'm Brubaker.
In Hallettsville, a former school principal is indicted on a theft charge, accused of stealing property while she was the principal in Ezell ISD.
25 News Now weekend anchor Amaya Norman talked to a reported victim of the crime. Amaya joins us with details. Amaya?
A Yoakum family is grieving not only the loss of their teenage son, but also a betrayal of their trust. Investigators accuse former Ezell ISD principal Jody Mildred Thompson of misleading the Kremling family after the death of their son Kobe in a construction accident. Thompson started a GoFundMe shortly after Kobe's death, telling the family the money raised would go towards his funeral expenses. But months later, the Kremlings learned from Lavaca County investigators that those funds were never used for the funeral. Instead, authorities say Thompson's kept the money for herself.
Heartbreaking. It's not even about the money. It's the fact that
she was there.
That is
so shattering to think that this person that you trusted, that it was my boss, would do something like that.
Kobe was 17 years old at the time when he was killed in February while working with his cousin on a building project. His family say the building collapsed while Kobe was drilling, killing him instantly. His family says Kobe was full of life. He loved joking around, laughing, spending time with family, and enjoying the country life. They also say they will continue to fight for justice, adding that no grieving family should ever have to go through this. Jody Thompson turned herself in to Lavaca County Sheriff Office on an outstanding arrest warrant this morning. She was released a short time later on a $5,000 bond. Don and Shawna, back to you.
Amaya, thank you. 2 children were killed and 17 people are recovering after a shooting at a Minneapolis Catholic school mass.
The FBI is investigating the shooting as an act of domestic terrorism and hate crimes targeting Catholics. Ivan Rodriguez is in Minneapolis with the latest.
A place of prayer and sanctuary were turned into a crime scene. 2 children were killed. A total of 17 were injured, 14 of them children. Police are calling this a deliberate act of violence. In the first week of classes at Annunciation Catholic School, an 8-year-old and a 10-year-old are dead.
We lost 2 angels today.
The FBI says 23-year-old Robin Westman opened fire through church windows where children and their teachers were praying during Wednesday morning mass.
Children were ducked down, adults were protecting children, older children were protecting younger children.
17 others, including 14 children, are wounded but are expected to survive.
My friend Victor saved me though, because he laid on top of me, but he got hit.
The FBI says the shooter, who graduated from Annunciation's grade school in 2017, acted alone and died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Officials are now working to find the shooter's motive.
We're also aware of a manifesto that the shooter had timed to be released on YouTube. This manifesto appeared to show him at the scene and included some disturbing writings.
Gun magazines shown in the videos list the names of 6 mass shooters, including Adam Lanza, the 2012 Sandy Hook Elementary School shooter, whom the suspect wrote they had a deep fascination with. Democratic Mayor Jacob Frey said it's on leaders to stop future tragedies.
We've got more guns in this country than we have people. And it's on all of us to recognize the truth and the reality that we can't just say that this shouldn't happen again and then allow it to happen again.
And there is that call not only from leaders here across the state of Minnesota, but also other Democrats across the country asking for some sort of action to be done so that this doesn't happen again, as we heard just there. We also know that the shooter's mom worked here at this school as well from the years 2016 to 2021, according to social media posts. In Minneapolis, I'm Ivan Rodriguez.
Turning now to our weather. Can't get the sweaters out just yet, but looking forward to some relief from this heat and humidity.
Well, we had dark clouds, we had lightning today, but no rain here at the station. But Max, some people got rain there at their place, Mac?
Well, it was very spotty. It did look kind of ominous there for a while during the afternoon hours, but downtown, on Navarro and at the airport, we didn't get anything. All of that activity was triggered by this stationary front up here. It's not moving in our direction, but the thunderstorms that did move into our region. Now for tomorrow, that is going to pull northward, so that's not really coming to us. But later on Sunday, there's a front that will actually give us a northerly wind. How much cooling? Well, it's not a lot of cooling, but it is a north wind. We'll talk more about it coming up in just a few minutes. Back to you.
Mac, thank you. The city of Cuero is keeping a close eye on its water supply. City Manager Wayne Berger says the system runs on 4 wells, 3 treatment plants, and 10 testing sites. Check daily to make sure chlorine levels stay right where they should be, between 1.5 and 3 milliliters. If levels dip, Berger says they'll flush the system more often than usual.
We try our best every day. It starts as a team. It's a team effort. We have great employees that monitor the water, treat the water. We all live in the city. I live in the city. I want to make sure that everybody has good quality drinking water.
Chlorine can drop depending on temperature, but Berger says if Cuero ever faced a boil water notice, the city would work with TCEQ and get the word out fast, likely through Facebook. In the meantime, anyone with water issues is encouraged to call Cuero City Hall.
Citizens Medical Center is moving forward with a $10 million funding request to keep expansion projects on track. The board approved a plan with Victoria County that gives them access to low-interest, long-term financing without needing voter approval. CEO Mike Olson says construction has faced a few surprises, like relocating a hidden sewer line, but the project should still wrap up by late January. Upgrades include a new ICU with hurricane-proof glass and a chemotherapy infusion center with scenic views. Starting in September, ICU access will shift to make way for construction. So for our viewer poll tonight, we're asking what you feel is more important. Is it faster hospital upgrades or more public oversight on spending, or are they both equally important? And 79% of voters feel that they are both equally important, balancing the two. So thank you to everyone who's voted. If you have not, we do want to hear from you. Visit crossroadstoday.com/vote.
The Texas A&M University System Board of Regents will meet Thursday morning to name an interim president for Texas A&M University Victoria. The last president of the University of Houston Victoria, Bob Glenn, retired this month. Governor Greg Abbott signed the Senate bill moving the school from the University of Houston system into the Texas A&M University system. Under the new law, UHV will officially become Texas A&M University Victoria next Monday, September 1st, Labor Day, making it the 12th university in the A&M system. Possible human remains were found outside of a home in North Houston. The Houston Police Department says they're now trying to identify who that person was.
Sarah Al-Sheikh talked to the woman who found the skull sitting outside her home, which then led to an even bigger mystery.
This happened right here. It's just too close to home.
A disturbing discovery in North Houston over the weekend. Connie Guerrero says she's still processing what she found outside her home.
When we got of her car, we got closer, and sure enough, it was a skull.
Guerrero sent this photo to ABC 13. She says she took it after police arrived. The Houston Police Department says officers found the skull sitting on items put out for trash.
They said it had to be buried for a while, they said, because when they cleaned the skull off, they said there was a lot of dirt inside the cracks of the skull.
HPD says witnesses described a homeless woman walking with it and leaving it there. After officers found her, police say she took them to a location with additional remains. According to officials, officials and anthropologists from the Harris County Medical Examiner's Office collected what is believed to be human remains. Now, police are trying to identify who they belong to, a question Guerrero wonders as well.
I just feel bad for the person that is, and whoever's missing out there and reported missing. I want the closure to know that, at least some family member will know that whoever they found, we found their missing person that they're looking for.
Local law enforcement departments joined to honor a fallen canine officer at Memory Meadows Pet Memorial Park. To read this full article, come to crossroadstoday.com.
Here are some of the top headlines in the Cuero Record. DeWitt County Sheriff's Department Captain Santos Calderon Jr. is in his 46th year of law enforcement, and a Cuero High School honor graduate is awarded a $20,000 scholarship. To read these stories and more, visit DeWittCountyToday.com.
Your news, weather, and sports are streaming 24/7 on CrossroadsToday.com, so you never have to miss any of your news, weather, or sports. Well, stay with us. Coming up on 25 News now at 10. Those movies you bought on Amazon don't actually belong to you, and now there's a lawsuit.
Also ahead, recent tax breaks for the wealthy could cost working families real money.
The FDA has approved the next round of COVID shots for the fall, but only for a smaller group. The updated vaccine is cleared for adults 65 and older and for children and adults with certain medical conditions. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. announced the move on social media, reminding people they can still talk with their doctor about getting vaccinated. The new limits could also impact insurance coverage, though. Without it, the CDC says a shot can cost up to $140.
CDC Director Susan Moneros is out less than a month after being sworn in. A Trump administration official confirmed her departure but did not give a reason. The Washington Post first reported she was being pushed out, noting she canceled an agency-wide call last week. Moneros, a longtime government scientist, was confirmed by the Senate in late July and sworn in July 31st.
When it comes to helping young people fight obesity, millions of people may qualify for new, powerful medications.
But many cannot get it. With more, here's ABC's Melissa Adon.
Nearly 20% of children and adolescents are affected by obesity, according to the CDC. That's why finding effective tools to help matters more than ever. GLP-1s are medications that can help tackle serious weight-related health problems. Researchers are now suggesting giving them early, before weight problems develop into lifelong issues. Nearly 17 million U.S. teens and young adults are eligible for GLP-1 medications, and most qualify because of obesity. But access is a major hurdle. About 1 in 5 eligible young adults are uninsured, and many others are on plans that don't cover these medications. And almost 1/3 of young adults don't have a regular place they get health care. Researchers say expanding insurance coverage could make a big difference, as well as helping more kids and young adults get treatment early and reduce the risk for serious long-term disease. If you believe your child could be a candidate for weight loss medications, talk to your pediatrician. With this Medical Minute, I'm Melissa Adon.
Those movies and TV shows that you've purchased on Amazon, it turns out they don't actually belong to you. Now Amazon is facing a lawsuit over the situation. A proposed class action lawsuit was filed last week in Washington federal court against Amazon, accusing the company of a bait and switch. The person who filed the lawsuit says she purchased episodes of a Nickelodeon TV series in May, but later found her purchases were no longer available. That's due to fine print that states the buyer has agreed to Amazon's terms. The lawsuit is seeking unspecified damages, including damages for alleged intentionally malicious conduct. For job seekers, where does opportunity lie right now? As the labor market grinds slower, the number of sectors adding jobs is narrowing.
And one economist says some trends track better for women than men. Karen Kaifa is in Washington with what job hunters need to know.
Last week, when Federal Reserve Chief Jerome Powell hinted at an interest rate cut on the horizon, he noted that the U.S. labor market may be on shaky ground. And it has been a tough time for job seekers, especially younger workers, because economists say there's really only a few areas of the U.S. economy that are adding jobs right now. As the job market slows across multiple sectors, economists note one in particular continues to grow.
Healthcare is an industry where, as the American population gets older, we should expect the demand for healthcare services to increase, and that's why we're seeing jobs growth continue very steadily in that sector.
Government jobs data for July shows healthcare and social assistance accounted for the entirety of the month's overall gains. And Laura Ulrich of the Indeed Hiring Lab says her analysis points to women in the driver's seat in those areas.
Healthcare and social assistance subsector made up almost all the job growth and from the July payroll employment report. And I thought that's got to be a high percentage of female employees. And indeed, it's almost 80% female.
Meanwhile, areas that were hot just a few years ago, like tech and finance, are peeling back. Economists have described the current state of the jobs market as no hire, no fire. Not a lot of layoffs, but employers not confident enough to hire either.
Uncertainty really is the theme for 2025. It's been a big driver for why the economy has slowed down over the course of the year, and it is probably the blocker that is going to prevent hiring from picking up through the rest of the year unless some of that uncertainty gets resolved.
Frustrated job seekers should note it's all cyclical.
Job market stagnancy and slow job market growth is going to be temporary. I think the question is, how long does that temporary state exist?
And for recent college grads who have had a tough time breaking into the market, it is not entirely their fault. Daniel Zhao, chief economist at career site Glassdoor, says that more senior workers aren't really seeing any positions that are worth jumping to right now, so they're staying in their seats, making it more difficult for those new college grads to break in. In Washington, I'm Karen Kaifa.
If you've ever wondered how much billionaires actually pay in taxes, a new study found the Forbes 400 pay an effective tax rate of about 24%, lower than the average American at 30%. And just last month, President Trump expanded tax breaks for the wealthy. The nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office says the richest 10% will see their income rise by more than $13,000 a year, while the poorest 10% could actually lose about $1,200.
Here are some of the top stories in the Port Lavaca wave. Taxpayers in Calhoun County are unlikely to see an increase in the county tax rate next year, and the Calhoun AgriLife Extension Office receives recognition during its biannual report. To read these stories and more, go to portlavacawave.com.
Today, we're celebrating our very own Don Brubaker, a big day. From his decades on the sidelines to his tenure on the news desk, Don is celebrating 41 years on KAVU. 41, Don. We thank Don and all that he's done, not only for us here at the Victoria Television Group, but for his coverage of our community throughout the years. So thank you for all that you do. And we enjoyed celebrating with you and Cecilia, having some cake earlier. And I know you love to, reminisce and talk about some of your favorite moments and memories.
Well, there's so many of them over 41 years. And thank you to all the viewers who have been so loyal, so nice, so sweet, so many great comments about our coverage. And hey, without you guys, I don't want to even go there. We appreciate you very much. And here's another person like Shawna, like myself, who appreciate you, the viewer. It's Mr. Mack.
Oh, of course we do, but we appreciate you, Don. I mean, certainly a legacy, and people, they don't do that anymore. I mean, this is a unique thing that we have here, and we're very pleased to have him with us. Folks, it's 80 degrees out about there, but it's a little pleasant out there. I was out earlier this evening. We managed to get up to 94, then the clouds rolled in and we looked like we were going to get something. I think we got only a trace of rain out at the airport. Tomorrow, less chance for showers. That's more sun. That means warmer weather. We'll talk about that after this. Well, good evening, everybody. For tomorrow, we're going to look for more sun, fewer clouds, and hotter weather for the next couple of days. We have that stationary front that's to the north of us, actually north of Houston, and that was the boundary line that triggered a lot of the activity we saw earlier in the day that sort of drifted down into our region. But that line is actually moving north. It's going to be a warm front tomorrow moving in that direction. And so basically most of West Texas or western areas of Texas are under the hot and humid weather, but north of the front, hello, looks like fall. They're really having some wonderful weather throughout much of the east as the fall weather has arrived very early, and they're really getting fresh numbers down to 30s and 40s at night and feeling like 60s and 70s in the daytime. Here we are, and you can see how at this hour of the night everything sort of fell apart. So there's no rain activity that's possible today. Tomorrow we're going to see even fewer showers that we expect. Here's what we had in the last 12 hours. There's Victoria, and it says a trace, but there I'm not really sure that really actually happened because I didn't get it on my car. Now tomorrow we have a chance for some marginal chance for rain or severe weather would be up here. We've got general garden variety kind of showers possible, but it's a smaller area in the crossroads tomorrow and most likely up toward the Houston area. And then we look at the Gulf, and as you can see, it's fairly quiet, no big deal in terms of storms. We do have thunder showers out there, but no organized activity. Fernand is really falling apart, going to be out there in the mid-Atlantic, and now all of a sudden the Atlantic is extremely quiet after being very busy for about 2 weeks. So September the 10th is the peak of the tropical storm activity in terms of numbers. And so, you know, after that we'll start having less of a chance of getting anything going. But you know, we really are in the peak of hurricane season right now between late August and early September. Don't even start with Katrina and all that stuff. So what do we expect tomorrow? Well, a little bit of cloud cover rolling in the morning. You see it right there. 1 or 2 little garden variety showers around the area, and that's for your Thursday. We go into Friday and it just gets plain old sunny and hot, lots of sun. In fact, Friday we'll get up to about 98 degrees. And then on Saturday, oh yes, there's the front. How is it? Is it a cold front? No, you won't need your sweater. Is it a north wind? Yes. Is it the beginning of cold fronts? Yes, that's what I'm most excited about. So that by the time we get to Saturday night, the showers will be along this frontal system and then dropping southward. We get them mostly on Sunday, but even Saturday night if you have to be traveling, because it is Labor Day weekend and a lot of people are going to be outdoors trying to have some fun because it's It's the end of summer. That's it. It's over. Now we're going into fall. Sunny skies for tomorrow with a high of about 94 down in Puerto Vaca. Cuero, you're getting up to about 96 with quite a bit of sun, much less rain chance. And like I said, Friday is going to be the hottest day, getting up to about 98. Saturday, not bad, but late in the day we start picking up that rain. Majority of it will be on Sunday as the front comes through. And then, yes, we're cooling it down to about 90 degrees on actual Labor Day and the early part of next week. But it's the beginning, hopefully, of more and more fronts. That's your 7-day forecast, reminding everybody we do have a QR code. We'd love for you to scan that, put Crossroads Today on your phone. And the good news is that Friday night for football is going to be very nice here in town, so Max is going to tell you all about that.
Yeah, Mac, I'm glad we're going to have like a nice clear skies, everything else a little bit cool towards later at night there for our first Football Friday nights here in South Texas. And getting into that, we got one team, Victoria East Titans, who are looking to figure out who their starting quarterback's going to be. I'll tell you who that will be coming up in sport. Now, both the men's and women's soccer teams, UHV, currently are going to play their last game under the UHV name this Saturday for their home opener versus Oklahoma City. So how do some of the soccer players and the women's head soccer coach feel about this transition? Here's my full feature story about how this change is felt for both programs. This Saturday, A&M Victoria, both men's and women's soccer teams will be having their last game under UHV on their jerseys. This comes after the big announcement was made a couple months back. Knowing this will be the reality, current men's goalkeeper and Tyler Capelli highlights his journey to Victoria and what this transition over to Texas A&M Victoria means to him.
3 amazing years as a UHV player. I've enjoyed certainly every game, every practice of it. But we're also excited for what's coming next. I know the boys are honored to be the same or the last people that are going to be playing under the name UHV, but also the first players to be starting as A&M Victoria.
Now over to the women's soccer team. Last year, the Lady Jags went 11-6 overall and 8-5 in conference play. Having this record from last season, senior Rosa Reyes is excited about this year, but also has a sense of sadness knowing she's playing her last time under UHV.
But it is a bittersweet moment because obviously UHV has been part of my life for the past 3 years. You know, I'm very grateful for the coaches that I've had, for the teammates that I've had under UHV. But it is also like new things that are coming and it's exciting. So I am very excited for the change. And I know it's going to open a lot of opportunities for us as athletes and also as students.
Now for Reyes' new head coach, Kimberly Utrecht, she's been a part of UHV program for 6 years under former head coach Adrian Rigby. And knowing this is the reality now, she also feels a sense of sadness and hopes her team can represent A&M Victoria in the future with pride.
Obviously, we've done so much with UHV across their chest and representing them, but they are really, really excited to go first and be the first team to actually play with that A&M Victoria on their chest.
In all, both Capelli, Reyes, and Utrecht look to finish strong under the UHV name this Saturday and look to have great seasons here in 2025.
All right, back over here to football Friday nights. We're looking at Victoria East where they're facing Georgetown Eagles there at home for week 1 action. The Titans last year went 3-7. Had to endure a lot of growing pains going under this now the second-year head coach in John Ford, which is now they're looking to have a different transition here going into this year. And they're figuring out who their next quarterback was in charge. Well, I figured out earlier today, catching up with Coach Ford, who he thinks is going to be the starter for at least week 1 and how he feels is how the team's going to expect to do with him this season.
You know, right now, leaning toward the experience that Dedrick Callis is going to bring. You know, he's played varsity football before, so he's gonna come out and be and get the nod at starter. But you know, they both have really different styles and abilities, and so we're looking for the best fit, and then of course we have to fit what they're best at in our system.
With these looking to rely on Callis to start this season, they also want some of their top playmakers to help out their new quarterback in charge. We'll see how all that goes. They're Friday night, 7 p.m. against Georgetown Eagles at Memorial Stadium. And that's going to do it here in sports. Don, Shawna, back to you.
Thank you, Max, and stay with us. Coming up on 25 News now at 10. We'll take a last look at your weather. Forget the tennis. U.S. Open fans create their own environment that has everyone cheering.
In Cape Coral, Florida, a would-be burglar met his match, not with the cops, but with Batman pajamas, that is. Early this morning, neighbor Kyle Myvitt got an alert from his home cameras, threw on his Batman PJs, and went outside. He caught the suspect in the act, first in his truck, then in a neighbor's garage, and he held them there until police arrived. The suspect had a history with law enforcement, had swiped cash, gift cards, Ray-Ban sunglasses, and a lot more. But thanks to Cape Coral's real-life caped crusader, he's now behind bars facing multiple theft and burglary charges. Crime does not stand a chance against Batman, even in pajamas.
More on this same bat time. No, man. A Florida zoo has 3 new baby warthogs. The 3 female warthogs were born August 7th at the Jacksonville Zoo and Botanical Gardens in Jacksonville, Florida. Zoo officials say one is a runt, weighing in around half the size of her sisters, but she's holding her own and nursing right along them. They were born to first-time mother Nusura. The zoo says they are all doing well, but are not on public display yet. They say they are acclimating and learning to regulate their body temperature, which a lot of babies do, I guess, when you're trying to get used to the different world and everything. But they're moving around pretty fast there.
Yeah, it just keeps the stress of all the visitors and onlookers, out of the situation until they're ready.
Oh yeah, and earlier, Mac, you had a really good forecast, I think, for the high school football opening night as far as traveling and
big weekend, because on Friday night is the start, right? This is the football Friday night. It takes off and it's going to go all fall. And so this Friday it's going to be warm, and during the daytime we'll get up to about 98. But once the sun goes down, it's going to be very pleasant in the stands for traveling for all the teams around the area, so may the best team win. Otherwise, we're looking for the next chance for rain being actually on Sunday when that weak frontal system moves through the area and knocks the temperature down just a little bit.
All right, well, besides football, U.S. Open's big right now. Fans at the U.S. Open are building a super tall beer cup tower, and a crowd formed around them to root them on.
Okay.
We see here the creative teamwork used to get the gentleman up to successfully add to the tower. Things seem a lot easier here as a young lady tops off the tower. But finally, oh, here she goes.
Oh, there she goes.
She's got lots of help. It's all about teamwork, but it does come tumbling down. So, well, thanks for joining us.